Josh, so I want to go over a really good diet that really helps stabilize the nervous system. Because when you have any kind of mental health imbalance, you need to stabilize the nervous system. This is the most important thing. The more stable the nervous system is, the less symptoms you have. Less symptoms you have, the more good you feel, the more serenity. It's like when we get excessive symptoms, then the self-talk in the mind starts, that exacerbates the symptoms, and then it makes us feel, it messes us up emotionally, and then all that just amplifies more symptoms. So I've said before, it's not so much the imbalance that's the problem, that's a factor, but I feel it's more, what makes it really become unbearable and chronic is the whole mind trip, self-talk around the symptoms and the emotional despair and hopelessness and depression and everything that's associated and due because of the self-talk. You ever notice an animal? I've seen this when I was I was sitting eating in Ecuador. I seen a dog get hit by a car, it like ran over its foot, and it yelped and cried for maybe I don't know, not even a minute, and then and it was trying to get away, and then it saw another car with some decent clearance, and it went under it, and it just chilled there for a while. I don't know, maybe 15, 20 minutes. Then it moved and continued on limping. But see, it didn't have the self-talk dialogue of saying like, man, now I can't accomplish my goals, and maybe I can't get a girlfriend now. Girl doesn't want a dog that's limping, and what's going to happen? How maybe other dogs are going to attack me now. I'm going to be more vulnerable. It didn't think about anything like that. It's clear. It like recovered as best as it could. It didn't heal. I mean, it's still, it hurt, but it's not, the pain wasn't being amplified by a restless mind and negative talk. It just, the natural instinct of nature, of self-preservation, took care of it. And when it was time to go, it left. So that's my point. It's the mind that amplifies our existing problem. Now, lifestyle and diet, here's how it helps. Diet's a big deal. This is, there's a bunch of different techniques and therapeutic modalities that one can, be a proponent of. And there's Reiki, and there's yoga, and there's Qigong, and there's Tai Chi, and there's massage and acupuncture and acupressure, and there's all these things. But that's individual. If those things work for you, cool, do it. But they're not, I don't feel they're across the board things. I like to talk about across the board things because I'm making videos, so I want to reach, I don't know who's watching this, so I want to share things that appeal to everybody, whether they believe it or not. And diet's one of those. Now you can see my playlist, it's called My Personal Diet Protocol, and then you can get a better idea. I'm not going to get deep into it now like I did then because I've already got deep into it. But it's all about hydration and alkalization. This body functions best when it's super hydrated and alkalized. When your fluids inside, your interstitial fluids, when they're flowing like a river, there's going to be less tightness, less pain, the nervous system's going to function better, you're going to have more electricity, all your bodily functions and systems and organs are going to function better. That's just what it is. We live on a planet and we have a body that's mostly of water. The problem is through diet, through stress, through wrong life habits, we start to dry that up. And then what's the opposite of hydrated and alkalized? Acidic. When things are acidic, put your hand in some acid and see what happens. There's burning, there's pain, there's all these uncomfortable sensations. So we want to keep things hydrated and alkalized. At the same time, we have to ground this electricity. Otherwise you can flip out. It's too much, it goes the other way. It starts to hurt your nervous system. So we don't want to be underhydrated and alkalized. We don't want to be under electrified. Okay, we want electricity, but we don't want too much. And that's the problem with some of these plant medicines like ayahuasca and San Pedro. I was going to make a video on psychedelics and how that affects mental health. You can let me know if you want to hear about it. Because that can give too much electricity if we overdo it. So it's all about balance. So I make these tonics like I showed in the other video. I drink about 4 quarts, 4 different ones with different oils. The essential oils that I put in there, it structures the water, it turns it into high alkalized, high circulation electrical food. Okay, and I drink those in the morning, and then I'll eat a bunch of fruits. Whatever fruit you can get where you're at, that's the best quality. You can feel and taste it, see how your body feels. I'm in Florida right now, and I like berries. They got, the blueberries and the the raspberries are really good, and watermelon. Now, when I go back to Ecuador, not so. The berries aren't like that. They import them. I mean, they import them here, but the quality's good. You got to taste things to know. You can't just label it and say, oh, it's not organic, it's not good. Oh, it's imported, it's not good. Oh, it's local, it must be good. No, we don't know. You have to try and see. Anyway, so here I like the berries. They're really good, in the watermelon. In Ecuador, I'll eat more mango, papaya, and some other fruits that I can't pronounce the name, because that's really good. So tonics and fruits, I'm having all morning and into the afternoon. So I'm super hydrated and alkalized. Okay, but then it comes time around 1:30, I need a grounding meal because I've consumed so much electricity, I need to ground that now. So then I'll eat you just eat lunch, whatever. I mean, obviously vegetarian's more easy to digest. It depends how strong and stable we are. If you're at a place at the beginning, you want to eat as clean as you can. Later, you can feel intuitively. If you're more stable, maybe you can get away with having some pizza or something else that's not considered the easiest to digest. You have to feel this out for yourself and know. So for lunch, you have your lunch. You can have, I like simple, I call it poor people food. I like poor people food because it tastes so good. If I had $1 million, I'd still be eating this. It's healthy, it tastes good, it's simple. I like rice and beans or rice and lentils, rice and vegetables. I can have some pizza and some veggie tacos. And if there's none, if vegetarian's not available, then I'd prefer to have some fish. If fish is not available, I'd choose some chicken or turkey or something. I like to stay away from the beef and pork because for my system, it stimulates the nervous system too much. The beef and pork are higher up the evolutionary chain. That means their DNA is more complex. It's harder to digest. If you ate a human being, then you'd really see how hard that is to digest, I assume. So I like to stay on it's all about digestion energy. You want to keep your energy so that then the body will send that energy to the nerves, and then your nerves will be energized. When there's power to the nerves, your symptoms are less. This is a fact. It doesn't matter what your diagnosis is or your symptoms are. If you have any mental health symptoms, if you have power to your nerves, you're going to feel better. So I capitalize on the liquids until early afternoon. Then I'll have a lunch. Then go back to the liquids. You see, I'll drink a couple more tonics, have some more fruits, and then maybe in the evening, I don't know, 7, 8, I'll have a dinner, but it'll be smaller than my lunch. You don't want to eat a bunch of food before you go to bed. And if you're doing this protocol, you're not going to be super hungry at night. If you're drinking liquids and eating fruits all day and have a grounding meal for lunch, you're going to be good. But you still want to eat something, I do, to make sure I can sleep good, because then I get a nice sleep, because that also helps regenerate the nervous system. So for dinner, same thing. Dinner, lunch, I just eat as clean, as easy to digest, fresh food as I can find. And this is what you do. This is what you do. You try that and see. Now at the beginning, maybe you only need 1 meal a day. Also depends on your constitution, your metabolism, etc. Some people, they're fine with 1 meal. I did that for years. Then at some point, it felt like my, you could say, nutritional storehouse started to get depleted, and I needed to add another smaller meal. So that's what I'm doing now. Maybe in the future that'll change. My body will be like, okay, you can just get away with one meal. You got to listen intuitively to what your body says. I made a video, intuitive eating or something is the highest, because it is. And then you don't have any false dependence on any other human being to tell you what you need to eat. At the beginning, it can help to have a guide to kind of check your intuition and give you some guidance to get you started. But then later, you make that program your own, and then you're self-sufficient. And this is what we got to do. What do they say? Thy thy physician heal thy own self, or something. Your inner doctor is more intelligent than any other doctor out here in the world when it comes to knowing your body and all the intricate ways it operates. This is just what it is. So we have to get in touch with this, you can say, inner doctor, inner power, inner intelligence. It's not mind intelligence, it's deeper. It's a deeper intelligence. And that's why having a spiritual practice is really beneficial. You can see my other channel, Spiritual Renaissance, if you want to know more about that. And preserving your sexual energy. Preserving your sexual energy and a clean diet, these are the two things I can just spread across the board to the whole 8 billion people and tell you it's going to benefit everybody. Doesn't mean you have to do it. I'm just saying. You would notice a change and a difference for the better for your entire being if those two things were being applied in your life. So if you're interested in semen retention or preserving your sexual energy, you can see my channel, Beyond the Alchemy. Both of these channels are in the description below. Have a good day.